we are back in the 212, back in New York City after the last few months and the winter in Miami. Happy to be with my friend Richie Romero. So I just want to tell you, of course, we spoke a few times, and I've met you at parties years ago. Another shout out to my close friend, I think a mutual friend, Spencer Singer.
I love Spencer.
Yeah, met you with him many years ago. But then, of course, recently, very good dude. Yeah, I became a fan. I think 3-4 years ago. Heard about Sushi by Boo actually first from a buddy who I think was in Boca and went to the one that used to have over there. And I think you're back there, right? But anyway, started going to the Gramercy Nomad one, loved it there, went there for all different types of occasions, and then was so happy when I moved to Fort Lauderdale. Boom, it's right next to my apartment in Fort Lauderdale. And then I moved to Midtown, now it's in Wynwood. So been to probably 5-year locations, never had a bad experience. And of course, besides all the other things you do, that's my favorite. So that's what I kind of reached out to you, prompted, happy you agreed to come on, and just tell us kind of a little bit about yourself and what made you expand into South Florida.
So my name is Richie Romero. I've been in hospitality for, 32 years. Born and raised New Yorker. You could tell from the accent. And
what part of New York?
Lower East Side, then went to Queens.
Nice.
So I got a mix of New York accents in there. And, listen, sushi's been, my passion. I remember when I first went to Tokyo and I tried omakase over 15, 20 years ago. I was amazed by it. And when I went back home, became an expensive addiction, as I call it. I was single and I would go on all these different dates and I was spending more money on omakase than it was on my mortgages. So I knew I had a problem.
That's not hard to do, right?
Yeah. And sushi became such a passion for me. My dog's name is actually Sushi as well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's my little girl. I love her. And, now we're, over 28 locations all over the country. Big reason of expanding to Florida, it's the new New York, and my partner and CEO Erica London, her and her husband Matt, they moved down there, and it let us expand a lot quicker, and we have a lot more locations coming in Florida.
Yeah, do you want whatever of those you could talk about? I'd love to hear about those.
Yeah,
I know that you can't always until they're.
Yeah, a lot of them. It's coming.
Right.
Most of it's not as much focus on Miami. We do have something called opening up in North Miami in a couple of months. We'll announce soon. But we have our Boca locations. Great. We're in the PGA in Palm. It's going amazing.
Nice.
We have the Wynwood location, but we definitely want to expand to. We're talking to Delray. A couple of locations.
Great, yeah.
And we're talking Orlando. We definitely, Florida's definitely a good footprint for us.
So where else have you, tell us about what you can in terms of other areas, locations, because you said 28, you said? So.
In Florida?
No, but yeah.
Oh, in general?
Just in general,
yeah. So in general, I don't know if you want to focus
you don't
more on
have to list
Florida.
all 28, but I know, because I was there Friday night with buddies in Wynwood, and I always talk to the chef, tell them that I know you, stuff like that. And I think someone mentioned Nashville, or maybe it's on your, so.
Yeah, so I'll give you a whole rundown. So, we're obviously in New Jersey. We're in 2 locations in Hoboken, in the W in Hoboken. We're in Jersey City as well. We're expanding multiple locations in Jersey. Chicago, we got 4 locations. We're expanding more in Chicago. We're even in Puerto Rico at the famous, Fairmont in El San Juan.
Oh, nice.
We actually have a bus. Partner Mike, he's crazy. I love him. We did an RV, so we do like a movable omakase in Dorado in Puerto Rico. So
wow.
you make a reservation and then we tag. It's either at the beach, at the park. It's in different locations. Cool. We just opened up about 4 months ago. We opened in Nashville. It's doing great. We definitely want to expand more in Nashville. We're in DC, and then we have tons of new locations opening. We're opening in multiple locations in Texas. We're aiming at hopefully by either the end of this year or by next year.
Is Austin in that list? Probably.
Austin's in the list. Yeah. Dallas is on the list. San Antonio's on the list. We're we have plans within the next 2 years. We'll probably be over 50, 60 locations. And, we do also have homakase, which is you get to do it at home.
Oh, cool.
We do the tuna carvings. I don't know if you've ever seen that, the tuna carvings. We call it the tuna tour, where there's actually one tomorrow in West Hampton. It's amazing. Partner and chef David, He puts on a show. It's like a rock star tour. You know what I mean? We just did one.
Like an actual.
Yeah, we take a 350 pound to 400 pound tuna, and he puts on a show. We just did at the Yes Chef Festival as well, and it's amazing. All the tours are sold out. It's fun, and we do catering. We're doing a lot of activation, so there's a lot to come. We even came out with our own sake.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Cool. A lot of expansion going on.
So where can we find the sake? I'm a big sake fan. So
yeah, you'll see it at all our locations.
Just the restaurants, or at the actual restaurants?
At the restaurants, we'll expand later, but it's just starting at the restaurants.
Maybe eventually potential retail distribution.
Yeah, we're going to go into it. It's just we're expanding so much, and we're still a small company, but we have like I said, we're going to have over probably 50 locations within 2 years.
I'm so happy for you guys. And so just so I know, what is there a name of the sake? Or is just kind of the Sushi by Boo?
Taboo.
Taboo?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Excited to try that. Big fan, yeah. So just, without, of course, exposing any trade secrets or anything confidential to the company, I noticed most of them are in hotels. I've only been to, 5 or 6 out of 28, but tell us, the strategy, what makes, they're not all hotels, right? Some are, some aren't?
95% are hotels,
okay.
And we try to keep it, they are in hotels.
Okay.
And I'll tell you the reason why, for multiple things. The whole concept is we take unutilized space in hotels. So it could be old conference rooms, it could be lobbies that are unutilized, anything unutilized. Like the first one we ever did was in the Sanctuary Hotel. It's 225 square feet. It literally was a room they were not breaking down cardboard boxes, completely not utilized.
Right.
And it's a location we do over $2 million a year at.
Wow.
So you're talking about $10,000.
Sorry, that's Manhattan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Pretty close to here. And
it might have been. I think I might have been to that one.
Yeah.
Kind of, you go down some stairs.
You go in the basement. It just has a flashing fish sign, and you look at it. It makes sense for the hotel. So one, we're taking unutilized space. Two, we're bringing a revenue stream there. Three, we don't need the people in the hotel. We're bringing them there. So I call it keeping them on the resort model. Say you own a hotel, you have a rooftop, you have another bar. You want to keep them on the resort. It's the same thing if you look at, you go to Wynd, you stay at Wynd or Encore, you go to a resort.
Right.
They're keeping you on the property because you have all the amenities. So we're driving there, keeping them. We get great press. It makes the APR in the hotels go up. It just makes sense for everyone. So I think it's a no-brainer thing. And, if the hotel doesn't make money, we don't make money. We do a true partnership split.
Okay.
So.
And there's other sushi concepts besides Sushi by Boo, right? Could you just tell us about how they differ and what? Yeah.
Yeah. So we have omakase, which is our vegan one.
Okay.
So we have that. We have Fins and Scales, which is our kosher one.
Okay.
We have we're coming out with a new concept called Wagyu Room, which is going to be our Wagyu meats, and we have
so not a steak, more of a not steakhouse, it's more of a delicacy or
same thing, just instead of fish. You do an omakase with
still
different
pieces.
things.
Okay, got it. Still small bites. Got
it.
Okay, nice. Wow, that sounds great.
And we're coming out with different other concepts because our main thing is our company's called Simple Venue.
Okay.
So we take unutilized square feet and we turn it into micro restaurants,
Nice.
And the main thing with Sushi by Boo is such a draw is, I call it's an affordable luxury. It's like you love omakase. It's like I remember I've gone when I was spending all that money instead of my mortgages. Right. I would go to places and spend $350 for 12 to 15 courses, and I wasn't wowed by it. I was like, wow, you spend 2 people, you're spending close to $1,000.
Yeah.
And some were over $1,000. And you're like, what do you do? So I have a lot of guests that come multiple times a week because they'll go to other places hey, we're 12 courses for $65. And you could do the add-ons. You could add on, hey, if you're a big...
Oh, don't worry, I know about the add-ons.
You get the Big Mac, you get these different pieces, and we'll get you. But, you want people to have an elevated experience at an affordable price. So that's why I call it,
No, I appreciate it. Look, luxury. I personally am not, because I like sake, as I said, and I like to have, usually, I'm not a huge drinker, but when I go out, I like to have a drink or two. So I'm not your $65 client. I'm kind of like what you're looking for, but I get it. Look, you don't drink or you don't feel like to drink. Yep. With tip and tax, you're in for less than $100. So I get, by the way, we haven't even spoken a lot about this, but I am a tax accountant. Yep. One of my biggest clients for many years, my biggest client ever to this day was Provocateur nightclub. Yeah. So I worked with Brian and Mike. I learned a lot about the nightlife industry, which is why I appreciate people like you. And I worked with some other small bars and restaurants, so I saw a lot of the ins and outs, the accounting, the margins you shoot for. Again, that was more alcohol, very little food, But but I get it. I mean, I understand what you're going for, and of course, I mean, rent is 99% of your lease deal. Your rent is most of your success rate. So the fact that you just explained that, because I don't want to really pry in your secrets, but makes so much more sense now, right? Because people always, how the hell am I getting what the base price is? What usually $150, $175 for 65? Like, what's the catch? But people, I'm sure, are thinking that, right?
They always say that, and it's just, we have a great model, and like we never said we don't. People can copy us. We already have. We were first to market. We have a great brand. We're doing over 5,000 to 6,000 reservations a week, between all locations. Our model's simple. It's a true partnership, because if we were doing this, and look at what happened if during COVID and other things, if you have 15 locations and you have a bad January and February and you're paying rent, you could be completely wiped out. Mm-hmm. So it's a model that works, and it's space that's not being utilized. So it's a win-win for everyone, and that's anything that I want to do and going forward in my future is a win-win. I don't think it should be a win-lose situation, especially if you're looking at things in New York. Forget even just rents, insurance. It's literally the government's going to have to get involved with that. Where they base insurance on revenue, not even on It's just none of it makes sense anymore. It's almost unaffordable to do small business.
It's not just a Florida problem anymore, because obviously insurance in Florida sucks, but it's becoming a nationwide problem, right? The insurance,
And labor costs is double here than Florida, so New York's a tough market.
And one thing you triggered on me, like when you said bad January, February could wipe you out. Similar, like in Miami or South Florida, where a bad June to August can wipe you out, right? I mean, it is becoming more of an all-year-round place, yes, for sure. I mean, I've lived there for almost 3 years now, but it's still tough, right? I like the fact that I'm like, I don't have to worry about making a reservation in advance, but that's just, otherwise it's a really tough environment down there too. So, how do you kind of navigate those things? Do you kind of like plan ahead, staff down, in terms of like the slow seasons? Yeah,
we got to do as much. The best thing about us for Boo is that we have a small staff. We have a maitre d' manager rolled into one. We have a porter, we have a bartender, and we have 2 sushi chefs. Mm-hmm. So it's we do it lean and
low
mean,
overhead, right?
And everyone has options. They give good service. They make more money. It's a formula that works for everyone.
Nice. So we talked enough about your work and my work. What about in general? And I know, I think what I appreciate about you, I know sometimes in your industry there are some, I guess relationships that get a little more like rivalries or like some things you hear about. But like I know you definitely have a lot of friends in the industry. You support a lot of other places. So if you don't mind, maybe mention some other places outside of your organization that you love in New York and Miami, just places that you really like to frequent, like to go.
Yeah. My big thing is, you brought up a good point, because I talk about this all the time. It's especially I was originally coming from more of the nightclub world, right. And it's like Game of Thrones, as I call it, and it's like Vikings killing each other, clan versus clan, instead of getting together and cultivating. I've always had a different approach. I'm a win-win guy. Something I'm building out now. Even it's creating silos that all help each other integrate and win. So I have a different philosophy. So I'm always about supporting. And I don't have any like favorite restaurants like in New York. I just go to any of my friends' places. I'm kind of a creature of habit. If you were opening a restaurant and everything and you invite me, I'm there. I'm like usually unless I'm traveling or something, I always go to support everyone. I like seeing everyone win. I'm like, someone else's success doesn't hurt me. I don't know why other people get affected by it. I don't know. I think it's broken needs of ego, jealousy, all them. I try not to have it. I try to always be like, if you do great, why wouldn't I want you to do great? Right. It has no effect on me, And the first thing I learned even in it was competition's your best friend. It's like the better even New York is and more people are coming here and international clients and everything, everyone wins. That should be the philosophy. And
so no Florida, specific spots, Miami or
in Miami, like if I had to choose.
Yeah, if you don't want to name any, it's cool. But.
No, I have no problem. I can name I can name things. New York it's different because I'm just creature habit, and I just whoever hits me up, I go and I support. Right. But if I have to pick in each thing, Miami, I still like Mila. I'm a big. It has 2 of my favorite foods. It's it's Mediterranean and Japanese. Right. I call it Mediterranean, and so I love Mila. If you go to like in Palm, West Palm, I like Palm Beach Meats. I'm a big meat
I've heard of
eater.
that place.
I think
Okay.
it's good.
It's more like a steakhouse type place, or
Yeah, they have good cuts. We're actually doing a little alignment partnership with them. We're working
cool.
with as well.
Okay.
And
Palm Beach Meats. It's called. This is in
Yeah.
West Palm or in Palm
West
Beach?
Palm, yeah.
Nice. Okay.
and then
Check
I
it out.
love my boys, and I love them. I'm going to give them a shout out. What they're doing in West Palm in terms of, I don't know if you ever went to Mary Lou's yet.
I heard about it. I haven't been there yet.
They're,
no.
you know, they're crushing it. I'm so proud.
Did they
of
do a
them.
pop up? Are they doing a pop up?
They're,
Yes.
they're doing a pop up
Yeah.
in Montauk. They're great.
Yeah, Danielle
guys.
mentioned it on two shows ago. My friend Danielle. Yeah.
You know, I love those guys, and you know, I'm really happy and proud of them, and like to see them do great.
It's like it's a music venue or a club. What do you?
It's a music
More
venue. Yeah,
entertain-
it's you know, it's like lounge club.
Okay.
You know, Boca. I got, you know, Boo. I'll always. Sushi by Boo and Boca is great.
Where are you in Boca?
Yeah, we're in Boca.
Where, in a hotel?
No, that one's a standalone and
Okay.
everything. Yeah.
Okay.
And then if you're looking at Fort Lauderdale, food wise, I like steak. Daniel's. I think it's called Daniel's. Yeah, I liked
Okay.
it last time. I don't go to Fort Lauderdale as much as I used to. And Del Rey, I got another shout out to guys in the industry. I'll give them the Bounce guys. You know,
Oh yes. I went for Super Bowl this year.
I haven't been yet, but
Yeah.
you know, I like seeing them shine, so I give them a
I
shout.
think it looks like they're doing pretty well there.
Yeah,
They got
so-
a nice following. Yeah.
I want to see everyone win. You know, it's so, you know,
Have you been to Novikov in downtown Brickell, Miami? Have you heard of it? Novikov?
I don't believe so,
It's
no.
from London, but what made me think of it is it's kind of like Mila in terms of it's got the Mediterranean with the sushi. That's why I asked. And I love the duck there personally.
I love duck.
Nothing against Komodo and Grumman. Love Komodo, but probably gonna take my daughters there when they come down in a few weeks. But the duck in Novikov to me is like my favorite. Yeah.
you got me craving. I'm gonna fly down just for some duck. I've done crazy things like that in the
Any
past.
favorite duck spots in the city?
Nah, I just,
No?
you know, I used to be a Peking duck guy. I haven't had it. You know, if I'm somewhere and they have it, I'll get it. Like I'll always order duck, but honestly, there's
Probably
not,
like Flushing or Chinatown's the best
yeah,
place to go, right?
there's not like a place where, like, I'm trying to think even in New York where it's
I mean,
like, oh
I
my
like
God.
it at like Philippe, but I know that's not so authentic. But I still like. I mean,
Yeah,
it's deep
there's-
fried duck.
but
How
there's-
bad could it be? I love
There's
it.
not like a, you know,
No. Yeah.
like, oh, I got to have the duck
Right,
there.
right.
Like, what's his name?
Have you had
was
it at
doing-
Komodo or no?
You know who used to have great duck, actually? They closed. I don't know if they've reopened another location. Zach Chodrow. He opened up,
Oh yeah,
you know, Decoy.
not Red Farm.
Underneath Red Farm,
yeah, yeah, I heard about
Decoy.
that. Yes,
Used to
I
be
heard about
great
that.
duck. I don't know if it's open now.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's still open or not. Yeah, Red Farm came to Coconut Grove. I don't know for a couple of years ago. and it's
Great
killing
product,
it
too.
because it's one thing that's a little harder to find. I mean, sushi, but other Chinese Asian food kind of harder to find in Miami. So that's. I mean, we love going as a family. We love going there. It's worth the drive to the Grove to go to Red Farm. Really cool place. Cool, man. So, any other tips for businesses who want to expand from New York to Florida or vice versa?
Listen,
What they should look out for, prepare for in general, businesses in general.
I just think, you know, listen, New York, it's really about one thing right now. You build brands here. You know, you build your brand, and you have to have a good, strong digital footprint to, you know, to expand and be able to keep that same product with a great operational team that could help you expand to other locations. You know, it's all about your team. You know, first build the brand, then build the team while you're building a brand, and your product has to be great.
And how large is the 28 locations? You must have a pretty decent sized team,
Yeah,
right?
we have a pretty big team. Yeah.
Nice. Cool. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I don't know if there's anything else you want to talk about. Are you totally out of the nightlife now? Is it really just food, or is there anything going on in the nightlife arena for you?
You know, I get calls all the time for it. You know, I help and consult a lot. I'm trying not to, you know, I'd rather be the Obi-Wan Kenobi. I don't want to be the Luke Skywalker anymore. Nobody wants to see the old dude in the club anymore. I don't mind,
Changing with the times.
You know, I'm helping some future, hopefully, Luke Skywalkers build their dreams. You know, I want to be an expediter dream. So if their dream is to be in nightlife or some other kind of concept, I'm there to always help build other people. I like it. That's my purpose. I feel like sometimes to be that expediter dreams.
Nice. That's great. No, I love that. So, I know in your case, how do people get in touch with your team? Is it the Sushi, like website, email, phone number?
Different
What's the best
things,
way to,
you know. We're on social media. We're on Instagram. We have a website. We even have a text number. We're pretty easy to reach. For myself, I'm pretty easy to reach as well. I'm on my Instagram.
Yeah, we can list it all in the comments, but I don't know if you want to say any of them here.
Yeah, you know, it's, you know, I'm Richie Romero 1 on Instagram. You know, Sushi by Boo is our handle on Instagram. You know, sushibyboo.com is our website. And, you know, yeah, we want to hopefully give everyone a great experience, you know, and like I said, an affordable luxury experience, because not every experience should be expensive, you know. Especially I'm coming from nightlife, where we have expensive experience with table service.
I mean, one thing that's changed. What's your view on, like, because I know obviously I had, you know, I had grown up, like, you know, in the early 2000s, like graduated from college '01. I mean, even when I was in high school, college, I was going to places like Cafe Tabac. I mean, I'm going. I know you're a little older than me, but I think you're the same generation with that. Cafe Tabac, O-Bar. Gauguin, you know, like so I was like, what, 16, 17 years old. Then of course it changed a little bit, you know, there was all the meat packing came about, right? And like everything, like
27th Street, yeah.
Exactly, 27th Street, all those places. I mean, now, I don't know, I mean, when because people still, even though I'm in my mid 40s, you know, I still get, oh, Neil, where should I go in the city? I'm like, when they want that kind of environment, like, I don't, like, there's gospel, like, it's really changed a lot, right? In terms of like the whole, not just New York City, but like, what's your view on where nightlife where does it go in the next 5-10 years?
You know, listen, it's more, you know, now big DJs, event based, and, you know, table service is just, you know, especially in New York, it's hard to keep up with, because let's say you live in New York and you used to be in the office 5 days a week. You went out, you got excited to, you know, have an expensive dinner, then go to the club and spend, you know, $4 or $5 grand on a table. Now you don't have to. You could take 4 or 5 day vacations. You'd rather go to Tulum or something, Balmoral, or
get more for your money,
and you could still spend $4 or $5 grand, but you're having an experience away, and you know, it's just a different game, you know. And then you look at the evolution of clubs. Even it's, you know, look at restaurants. I remember when Tao first like opened, you know, the original Tao, Upper East Side, yeah. And it became, you know, before when we would go out, it would be, let's say, Italian restaurant, pictures of Frank Sinatra on the wall, white tablecloth. Restaurant ended at 10, and you went right to the club. You know, I started at, you know, Tunnel, Limelight, USA, all that, and you went out. Tao became a nightclub restaurant. Vibe. They created vibe dining.
You're in the club at dinner already.
You literally could stay there